guys, just an update with the Studie. At long last I got the block back. I've painted it this colour, quite like it, something different. I was going to paint it red, but found this sort of burnt orange colour, and that's actually a little bit similar to the colour I've been thinking about painting the car. So yeah, I went with that. I've just installed the bearings, ready to put the crank in. I've lubed it up, and yeah, there's the crank all ready to go in. The pistons are on the con rods already. There's the caps. So yeah, all happening. Very, very exciting at long last. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. At long last, I've got a lot of the metalwork done. So you can see I've replaced this. I had to do the back wall here, and then on top of that was a piece that went right across the bottom, went right across the back because the whole back was rotted out, and that's the same piece that comes and joins onto the side wall here. So there's been a fair bit of work to get this. It's not perfect, it's not finished, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it was. There's actually a carpet that goes on the back, so you know, some people had suggested just covering the whole floor with one piece of flat steel, but I wanted to try and keep it a little bit as original as possible. So I've kept the main features in the boot. I've from the old what do you call this, the corner stabilizer, I suppose. From the old one, I took out this piece here, and I put it on a new piece of fabricated steel. I have another one here. This is what it started like. I put a curve in it. This is for the other side. I didn't end up using the side tab. I've just cut that off because that's emulated by this piece here. So yeah, this will sit in there. The car's actually chopped up just a little bit at the moment, so that's sitting at the right height, and this will be all sealed in. You won't see it. All that will be sorted. So yeah, the boot, the main thing that's really important for me is structurally, all of this back is really strong now. I can pick the car up from the back. I couldn't have done that before. So yeah, all of that's hidden too. There's a cowl in there that goes above the back bumper, so you don't actually see any of that. I've also done the two patches. This was the most challenging one. This here, there was a step here where it goes down to this flat part, and then this is up for this ribbed part. So I've got that not looking pretty, but it's sitting pretty well. All of them, they're a tiny little bit in further. I didn't want to try and do like a metal worker and make it all seamless. I was expecting to have to use a little bit of bog to fill over. So that's sitting pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. Most of that is covered by the fin, so it's sort of structural, but not so much aesthetically important. I've also done the whole side of this door here, the front quarter panel. It looks worse than it is. It's actually sitting pretty good. Most of the little pinholes have been welded up, so I haven't finished sanding that, but that's all done. And then over the other side, look on the other side. I've also done that. So again, I know it's not beautiful, but it's sitting right. It needs some bog over the top. That whole piece, all of that will be under the fin. The fin line comes down to there, and then goes across here. There's a piece of trim. So all of that will be under the fin. Again, it's just structural, and I've just cut out the rust, which is the most important thing. As with this little piece down here, again, the front quarter, it wasn't so bad on this side. I just welded this little nib on to pull it out a little bit because it's still sitting in a bit, but again, it's going to be covered. I was expecting to have to cover it with a little bit of bog, but it's going to be fairly thin. So I'm happy that most of the metalwork has been done. Again, you can see inside the boot The whole boot will be covered with the carpet that was standard, so you won't see it, but it's so good to get rid of the rust. So that's what's been happening. I've put a what do you call it, like a guide coat over the roof. The roof is pretty good. I've started to sand it back a little bit over here, only just a little bit, but it's pretty good where it is. The roof, it's all ready to go. So as soon as that's sorted, I'll put a coat of the white. I'm going to use an ivory on the roof and on the strip on the back fin. So the roof, and there's a fin going along here that will have a strip of the white, sort of ivory. And yeah, so that's what's happening at the moment. Next thing is to I've got to give again the epoxy primer to cover the metal, and then I'll do the bogging, and then the next thing I've got to do, these are separate panels here, obviously, and then on top of that goes the fin. Now, as I pointed out before, it was exactly where the fin sits here and collects water here, and also that's where it gets down into the boot and causes all that mess that was along the bottom. Again, in this car, places like the rockers and the bottom of the under the fenders and other places where you normally have rust were really good, no problem at all. But it's all about the fins. So what I want to do, as I've mentioned, is put the fin on and seal it like it's one piece. You won't see the join. And to do that, I would be best to paint this off the car, and then both of those and the inner fender as well will be painted. Then I put this on, and then I probably have to strip off some paint to put the fin on along the back, and then either weld or screw the fin where it goes all the way along here, and I'll put a little tiny bit of bog in to seal it up, and then have to give that another coat of epoxy primer, and then hopefully the whole thing would be ready to sand down for in preparation for a final coat. So things are moving along. It was quite a while in the making to get up to doing the metal work. As I think I told you before, this is my first sort of deep restoration of a car. It's the first time I've done metal work on a car, so yeah, forgive me for it being a little bit rough, but as far as getting rid of the rust, I am pretty happy with how it's turned out. I haven't got any major folds or creases or anything that came out in the panels from getting too hot or anything like that, so I'm pretty happy where it's at, and I'm pretty happy to have most of it done. I've just got to finish the other corner over here. Hasn't been done, so I've got to do what I've done over here, do it on the other corner. But other than that, the boot is pretty good. That will be sealed. There's a little bit more, a little tiny bit more to sort out, but by the time it's finished, I think it will look decent enough, and it won't really be seen anyway, because the back of it all along here, as I said, is hidden, and the inside is covered with a carpet. So just happy to have the metalwork done. Thanks for checking in, and please come back and see some more. Cheers.